Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another StarCraft 2 Ladder Legends replay analysis. Today we got Mr. KelpL0rd versus a guy named Silver. This is a PvZ. Let's go over what he said real quick. Let's see. I'm not sure what to do here. Definitely YOLO'd my army when I shouldn't have. My army production was definitely lacking, but I don't know what direction to go to fix it. Okay. Let's see. Get that music going. We got the coffee. We got the headphones. Let's do it. Nexus before core. So our Nexus was slightly late. So it went down at 130. So you want to be aiming for 122 with your Nexus. You can send the probe down at the minute and 10-second mark to the at the minute and 10 seconds you can take the probe, send it to the minerals, and then shift click it to the spot. It'll be there perfectly on time, and your core should be going down at 130. So we're about 10 seconds late on the opening of our build. That's just something small that we can fix like super easily, right? So we go for the Stargate, and then we go for a Stalker. In PvZ, you want to go for an Adept, because Adepts kill Zerglings way faster. Also, Stalkers give more surface area. The Adept is just smaller overall, so we would definitely want to go for an Adept here. It doesn't really matter that much, like unit choice, but the Adept is just better. So, got our Oracle out. We took this gas, but we're not mining it. Our probe production is okay, but we're lacking a pylon. Okay, so we're getting 3 pylons to go away from this 46 block. We also don't have anything on the way. So if you remember from our first session, Kelp, so what we want to be doing for the pylon 46, at 38 supply, we want to send the probe out to the third base. We make the pylon here. You want to make it right past this mineral patch. That way it'll have a 1 space gap between the Nexus and the pylon, and then you can put your Adept, second Adept right here as well. So after the moment the first Oracle's out, which should be about the 3.5 minute mark, is when we want to be sending our probe out. We can get this Nexus as early as 3 minutes and 25 seconds, but we want to have it before the 4 minute mark if possible, just because we can. There's nothing he can do to stop us, so why should we let him stop us? And this also stops us from getting supply blocked at 46, because we get the third pylon here at 38 supply, which opens it up for 54. Then you can get the fourth pylon at 50 supply, and then your third base Nexus should finish, and this should bring you up to like 69 supply or something like that. We also don't want to get a gas in our natural until we're fully saturated here. We're slightly oversaturated here, but then we can, so basically we go Oracle, Twilight Council, Forge, third base. You can do third base before Twilight Council and Forge. It just, I mean, it depends on which order of operations you want to go. And then you can either go into Blink. I recommend Charge, though, like we were talking about. We go for Charge, Archon. We go Zealot Archon as just a basic comp that maxes us out before 10 minutes. If you remember, that's our goal in these games. Our goal is to max out as fast as possible on as a move as possible of a comp. We can add in things like Storm and stuff later, but for right now, this is what we're focused on, okay? So our third base is late. We're over compensating for the pylons. All right, we're getting our Twilight Council. I like that, but we're not making any probes. If you notice, you look at our production tab, we're not building any probes. So we need to be making sure we're building those probies. We actually would be, remember, we're going for 10 per minute that's gone on, so we should be at 46 to 47 probes already. We would actually be even / ahead of the Zerg on economy if we were on top of our probe production. So I like that we're remembering the opener, though. This is a good start. This is a good start. Depth got a kill. Watching for the fourth base. Taking a sip of our cup of Joe. Because the game will soon be Jover. No. Alright. So we're getting charged. There we go. And now we want to be mining. We want to make sure we're mining our gas. So we're chronoing probes, which is good. Want to fix our saturation a little bit, and our third base is just late though. Like at this point, the third base would already be done, and we would be looking at about 50 probes. So we're just kind of behind on economy here, straight up, against the Zerg player, which doesn't need to be the case. Protoss is the only other race that can maintain a like somewhat similar worker count to a Zerg player with chrono boost plus proper base timing. Lost the Oracle, that's fine. We wanted to get some damage done, that's okay. But what we really want these Oracles to do is to protect our third base. So what I would recommend we do here is, at least until we get 2 Oracles out, we use the first energy overcharge on the Oracle. We wait to see if Lings come. If Lings don't come, we go Stasis, Stasis, Stasis. And then once the second Oracle's out, we can take both Oracles and maybe try to do some damage. Even without actually attacking them with the Oracles, though, we get them to make 1 Spore, 2 Spore, 3 Spore, 225 minerals plus 50 minerals per drone. It's another 150, so we're now looking at 375 minerals spent on Oracle defense. So they're kind of paying for themselves, and they make up for the gas costs that they cost by keeping your third base alive, allowing us to take a super fast third, and maintaining the defense with the stasis wards. So nice. Nice. So another fun fact, and this might not be her, but Winter Gaming's wife's name is Silver, like her gamer name. So I wonder if this is her by chance. I thought she was a Protoss player, but okay. So we're attacking. We don't have quite the cash. I mean, the good warp ins. Like, how many gateways do we have here? We have 6. So if you remember, once we're on full 3 base saturation, we want to go up to 10 gateways, and then once we're on 4 base saturation, we want to go up to 15. Right. So we're attacking right now at 8.5 minutes, and I like that we're making an attack. But remember, we're trying to let's just go for that max out army. Let's just go for that max out, the +2 attack max out army will win you games every single time. Not every single time, but the majority of the time. If we max out faster than our opponent with a better economy, more stuff beats less stuff, my friend. More stuff beats less stuff. Our upgrades here are pretty stellar. We're ahead on upgrades by 1 against the Zerg player. We're throwing down 4 additional gateways. We already have 6. We're going up to 10. I like it. These gateways could have come down a little faster, especially if we had a faster third base. One thing we could also be throwing down right now is a fourth base. I like that we're fighting, but we're focusing a little too much on the fight. We have a lot of cash. We're floating a lot of cash. Imagine if all this cash for units, right? We would be about even on supply, maybe a little less, but this would be another 17 zealots, which would put us dead even on supply. We're still winning the fight. You're doing a good job. I think we're overstaying our welcome a little bit here. What we could do right now is a recall. We keep some of these tech units alive. Nice job moving the Void Ray. The micro is actually pretty good here, Kelp. So another thing we want to do against roaches before the sentries die is Guardian Shield. If we are going to be focusing on the fight, we might as well be doing every single thing we can. So we need to be throwing down a Guardian Shield right here. We're getting a 4th base. Nice, we're getting some extra pylons, but we really need to be focusing on warping in. I know we're missing some warp in cycles, but we're also missing some probe cycles. If you remember, we want to get to 75. So we're only at 61, and if we go by that 10 per rule mark, we just potential worker production we could have produced by now, we could be at like 90, right? So just things to keep in mind. Very nice on the recall. You read my mind. I think he went to target the sentry and target the stalker. That was very good. So unfortunately, we didn't kill any bases, though. Normally, with an attack, we want to try to attack the appendages and kill bases if possible. I don't think we have vision of. We don't have vision of this base. We can assume that base is taken, but we don't have vision of this base either. So we also would like our 4th base to be done at this point. This is just. I think we're just expanding slightly, like just too slow. If we're being honest, just a little too slow. We also got. You're taking after your. I was gonna say taking after your uncle with the decoration forges over here, but then we start too. Very good, very good. So remember, if we're gonna be making Archons, we want to be getting the shield upgrade because Archons are majoritively shield. So Zealots also start with baseline +1 armor. So although armor upgrades are really good for the Zealots, getting shield, it's like they already have an armor upgrade almost, if that makes sense. Like it's the equivalent. We might as well buff the Archons if we can help it. Like, think about it versus Zerglings, for example. Zerglings attack very quickly, and so they also do a small amount of damage. They do 5 damage to start. So it's just like, he's about to have +2, so he'll be doing 7 damage per shot to these Archons. If we had shield upgrades, that would be reducing it back, right? So we definitely want to go for shields if possible if we're doing Zealot Archon specifically. And for another reason that once your units back off from the fight, the shield regenerates. Therefore, you get double value out of the shield upgrades. That's why they're more expensive. And also because shield upgrades count for buildings as well. It's the only upgrade besides building armor for Terrans that increases the effectiveness or the durability of your buildings, rather. So we're doing a good job of spending our money now, but it's just slightly late, unfortunately. So we're going for the attack again. We're just attacking while we have too little supply, my man. Like if we're looking at these supplies, right? It's like, would you be wanting to make an attack while we're down 40 army supply? Probably not. Protoss armies scale like crazy, right? So we just want to get a bigger army if possible. We want to try to go for that +2 max out. Another thing, we're kind of doing an antithesis to what we want to be doing. We're taking a 4th base, we're taking a 5th base. We're getting +2/+2, and we still have 70 supply until max, and we're making an attack. Does it make that much sense? Not really. No, because we're investing thousands of resources into furthering our game state, but then we're trying to win the game right now, right? It's like, are you trying to win the game now, or are you trying to win the game 2.5 minutes from now? So we're fighting with a 40 supply deficit here. And his +2 attack finished while our 2/2 is still on the way. So. Remember, roaches are also the counter to Zealot Archon. So once you start seeing a lot of roaches like this, what we can add in addition to our Zealot Archon is we add a robotics facility. I like the idea that we're making Void Rays, right? But if we add a robotics facility, we start making Immortals to go along with this. Immortals just absolutely shred roaches. And eventually we're like, during the next session that we have this week, we're going to be going over the concept of Storm and when to get it and stuff like that. But for now, while we're sticking to our our Zealot Archon plan, let's try to max out with Zealot Archon attack. If he has a bunch of roaches, we throw down 2 robotics facilities behind it, and then we make Immortals to go with it, right? We're just we're doing unit counters at this point, which is kind of what he was going for. I think he was actually just going for Roach Link, regardless. I don't think he really cared about what you were doing, but because we attacked with an upgrade disadvantage and into a 40 supply army disadvantage, this is what's going on. So it's just, you're asking like what direction we go to not have the army disadvantage that we had. We just need to expand faster, right? Like there's no reason he didn't attack us at all until just now. We could have had these bases much quicker, right? So your micro this game was very good though, I want to say. Like, kudos there. But we just expand a little faster. We wait a little longer until max out. We don't hit any what are called anti-timings, or just we don't do things that are the antithesis to what we're trying to do, right? And we will have no problem going forward. Hopefully this helps Kelp. And if you have any questions, feel free to PM me, man. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.